guys, this is Stephanie and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. So today I'm coming to you with my fall TBR. It's a little bit late for fall TBR. It's already into October, but I have not had time to film. So here I am, fall TBR. Now I promised myself for my fall TBR two things. First thing I said, Stephanie, you will only pick books that you already own. You need to read the books you have. I need to read the books I have. Second thing that I said I was going to do was not have a ton of books because I always pick like 25 books and then I only read like 6 of them and then I feel bad for not reading my TBR. So what did I do? I picked like 25 books, maybe 30. Who knows? Nobody can count. Nobody knows. There's no way to ever find out either. Ever. So the good news is I do own the vast majority of these books. There's only 2 on here, 3 that I don't own. And one of them I don't even have here because I haven't gotten it from the library yet. But I'm going to go through these rather quickly. These are just books that I am kind of in the mood to read in the upcoming months. They're not necessarily books that like give me fall feels or anything like that. They're just books that I am interested in reading the next few months. So if any of these books are, you know, pulling at you, you could be like, hey, we could do a buddy read. I love doing buddy reads. I really, really do. And I try to like be disciplined about it. I will mess up, but I will do my best. Okay, getting started because there are a ton of books here. First 2 I have is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and then Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which I am like halfway through this one already. But my goal is to read both of these during the fall. I might actually put this one off to December, but I definitely want to get these read before the end of the year and polish up my reread of Harry Potter. I also have All the Ever Afters by Danielle Teller, The Untold Story of Cinderella's Stepmother. This is actually my book club pick for the month of October. So I will be finishing this one up in the next few weeks. Actually, by the time the video gets posted, I might have already read it. It's possible. Basically, it is Cinderella's stepmother's point of view of the story, I believe. I mean, just judging from the title, that's all I've read. I also would like to read The Adoration of Jenna Fox. This is by Mary E. Pearson. Ooh, it's so white, you can barely see it. There you go. This is one that I've had on my shelf for years and I've wanted to read because it just sounds interesting. It's like a girl wakes up out of a coma and the life she remembers is not the life she has. So she has like different memories and stuff like that. It's a bit of a sci-fi YA, which also interests me. And it's a pretty short read. Like it's not very long and it's just one that I've been eyeballing and I think I'm going to read it. I also am wanting to read A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas, and I think this is like supposed to be Sherlock Holmes's daughter. It is a trilogy that I purchased last month and I want to get started on it because it just sounds super interesting. And again, it's not very long. I'm pointing out how short some of these books are because I have quite a few books for my big book challenge in here as well, which I changed, I don't think I told you guys this officially, to 500 or more pages since technically 500 is a tome. Not 600. So don't ask me what I was thinking at the beginning of the year when I was like, 600 pages. 500 pages is what we're going to do. So I have a bunch of books in here that are 500 pages or longer because I want to get on that. Reading that, I think I had a goal for 6, 10, I don't remember now. And I think I've read like 2 that are over 500 pages. So I'm getting on that. I do have The End of Oz by Danielle Page. This is the last in the Dorothy Must Die series. And it was one of my goals to finish the series by the end of the year, and it's the shortest book of all of them, and I just need to pick it up and read it. That's all I really need to do. So I also would like to get to Siege and Storm this fall, and then maybe in December get to the last book, Ruin and Rising. This is the second book in the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I read the first one like 2 months ago and I loved it. I'm just terrible at completing series, which is funny because like the next 4 books I have are the second in a series. Yep. First is Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray, which is the second book in the Diviners series. I drew a blank there for a second. I read the Diviners last October. I want to read the second one now. It's a scary book. And it's funny because I didn't think it was a scary book. And then I think I got like 5/8 of the way through it. And I was like, this isn't scary at all. There's nothing scary about this. And there was like a slightly scary scene. And then I went to bed. That was my mistake. I went to bed after reading something scary. I never should have done that. I had terrible dreams. And then I didn't have time to read the next day. And I had terrible dreams again. So I need to just make sure I have time to read this one all the way through. I think this one's over 500. It is. So this one will count, which is great. This is one I am most definitely going to be getting to in October. Hopefully. Hopefully I get it to it. Hopefully I can get to it in October. The Diviners is actually like 1920s occult kind of thing. We're following a girl named Evie, who's kind of like a spoiled little turd burglar, but she gets sent away to live with her uncle in New York City in the 20s. New York City in the 20s. And she just has a way of getting herself into a little bit of trouble. And this is the sequel, and I really liked the first book, so I'm anticipating liking the second. The next sequel I have is China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan, which is the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians. I know you're probably like, Stephanie, summer is done and you have a contemporary. I really liked the book, to be honest, so I kind of want to read the second one, and I just got this in my library haul, so I thought, let's just pick it up sooner before later. We'll see. I also added to my list The Perilous Sea, the sequel to Burning Sky by Sherry Thomas, which I read Burning Sky last month. And this is the second book in the series, and I really liked it. It was a really, really quick read. So I'm thinking I might pick it up and see if I can get through it in like 2 days, like I did Burning Sky, and hoping that I enjoy it. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I will. I'll get to it. And another sequel that I have is The Exiled Queen by Cinda Williams Chima. This is the second book in the Seven Realms series. I read Demon King also last month and really liked it. So I want to keep going in that series. The thing is, I start series and then it's like I just lose momentum and I don't continue with them, and it bothers me. I want to complete series. So I am hopefully going to get to this one. Hopefully. I think that's all the series. I held up Harry Potter 5 and 7. I don't know if you noticed that, but I held up Harry Potter 5 and 7, not 6 and 7. I already read 5. Can anybody tell it's midnight and I'm filming? Anybody? Bueller. So the books that I don't own that I'm going to be reading is Shadow of Night, which I'm actually, this is a library book, as you can tell. I'm almost done with it. Like, oh, I don't know where my bookmarker is. I have like 100 pages left. Not even 100 pages left. And I'm a hard time putting this one down, so I'm definitely going to have this one done. Check one book off this list. And I will read the sequel as well, which I think is called Book of Life. This is by Deborah Harkness. This is the sequel to Discovery of Witches. And the name of the series is something. You guys have told me before in the comments, and I don't remember what it is. It's not the Book of Life series. Something. All Souls Trilogy. Look at me, I can read. Okay, it's the All Souls Trilogy. So I'll read the second one, I'll finish the second one, and then I will read the third one as well. Ultimately, it's just a really fun story with new lore for vampires and witches and demons, and it was a fun read the first time, and I'm very much enjoying the second one as well. I also have Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff on my list. I don't know if I'm going to get to this one before I have to take it back to the library. I am thinking more mid to end of November with this one. I think it's one that Serenity, Dawn, and I are going to do for a buddy read in November. We just haven't decided what week. I don't know exactly what this is about. I think it's about a girl in space, like a space school, and they have to fight something. I think that's about it. But the cover's beautiful. And it just kind of sounded fun. But along that same line, I have Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. And this one also, I think, is about a girl who's like learning to fly. I don't think it's a space school per se, but I think she's like learning to fly or something, and her dad flies spaceships. I'm not really sure about this one. However, this one is going to be Serenity and my pick for a buddy read this month. I think we're going to read it the last week of the month. And I'm excited about it. I don't know a ton about this one except the sequel's coming out like end of November. So we might try and even read the sequel in December. Who knows? Okay, so I'm almost done. I do have one more scary read on here. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. And I don't know exactly what it's about. A girl who goes to some sort of an assassin school. I have been warned to skip the first chapter. I've had multiple people say, just skip the first chapter and never read it because it's like super disturbing. So that's what I'm going to do. Skip the first chapter and just read the rest of the book. I also have the Stephen King 11/22/63, which I want to get to in November. Get it? This is one I'm not even a quarter of the way into. I started it like in the spring and I just was not in the mood for it. It's pretty slow. Like, Stephen King's a slow author. I didn't realize that, to be honest, that he was a slow author, but he is. So he's a pretty slow author, and I have a goal to read this by the end of the year. Really want to read it in November, but I have a goal to read it by the end of the year. I also want to read Holiday in Death by J.D. Robb, which is the 6th, 7th, I don't know, of the In Death books. I haven't read a single one of these this year. I think last year I read like 4 of them. And I've been doing pretty well, like reading 3 or 4 a year, and I haven't read one. So I need to pick it back up and see exactly what Eve Dallas is up to in this one. And then I have The Hating Game, a novel by Sally Thorne. I don't even know what this is about, to be honest. I got this in my library book haul, and I don't really know much about it. I think it's about a girl who hates another guy, and it's like a hate to love thing. I'm assuming it's chick lit, so we'll see about that. But I'm going to give this one a shot, and why I put it on my TBR, I don't know. I just did. And then I did grab Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This has been on my TBR a ton. I'm terrified to read this book because what if I hate it and everybody in the world loves Sarah J. Maas except me? Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I am going to try and read this one at least by the end of the year, if not this fall. And then I have 2 huge books for rereads that I want to read this fall. See, this is an unreasonable TBR. This is my problem, one of my many. I have Name of the Wind by Patrick Ness, which I love this cover so much. It's so scary, yet so much fun. But I do want to read this one again because I want to get to Wiseman's Fear, which I have not read. So I need to reread this one before I can get to that one. And I'd like to read it this fall. We will see. See, when I see all these books here, I'm like super in the mood to read them all, like right now. Sometimes I wish you could like just touch a book and be like, I now understand everything that's in this book, except that I wouldn't have the journey of the book. And I love the journey. To me, the journey's the best part. So I don't want to do that. But I do, but I don't. And the last one I have is Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Mark will be doing cartwheels. That I have this one on my fall reads. I do want to get to this one this fall. I want to get into this fall. I'm not certain I'll even finish this by the end of the year, especially since I have so many other books I want to read. But this is one I need to just read all the way through because I got like a third of the way into it the first time. And then I set it down and I don't remember like anything. Actually, I probably remember. How far did I get? Well, I got to page 300. I bet I remember a lot more than I think I do, but right now I can't even tell you like names. Kaladin is a name. And Draenor? No, I don't remember. I don't remember the names. Anyway, I need to get back to this one as well. I'm probably going to be listening to it because it is read by Michael Kramer and I think Kate Redding. They're husband and wife, but I think she reads this one too. So I'm going to start it. Hopefully. I really hope I do. I really hope I do. But that is it, guys. This is the way too many books that I have on my TBR. 22. That's only 22. That's only 22 books. Hey, that's not terrible, right? Right. So my goal is generally to read roughly half the books that I put on my fall TBR. If it were up to me now and I like didn't have to work or clean my house or sleep, I would just read them all like right now. Literally. That's what I would do. But I do have to sleep and work. And I have a life. So please comment down below if you have read any of these because I would love your feedback on any of these books. And let me know your thoughts on them. Or if you're like, hey, I want to read that too. Let me know that because I would love to know. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun kind of stuff. But most importantly, feel free to read a book that you're in the mood to read. Hooray for that. I will look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Goodbye.